Hi students, welcome to Lucky Naresh Physics channel. I am Naresh Babu, Physics faculty. Students, in this session I am going to discuss about electromagnetic induction. In that I will discuss these points. Students, first introduction. Students, in your 10th class you have learned that when coil is rotated in magnetic field, current is induced in that coil. What is the name of the phenomena? The name of the phenomena is electromagnetic induction, which was discovered by Faraday and Henry. Electromagnetic induction formed the principle of electric generators and transformers. So what is electromagnetic induction? Look at here students. When coil is rotated in magnetic field, current is induced due to change in magnetic flux. This phenomena is called electromagnetic induction. So the change in magnetic flux around a coil induces EMF or current in that coil. This phenomena is called electromagnetic induction. Now, what is magnetic flux? The total number of magnetic field lines crossing through any surface normally when it is placed in magnetic field is called magnetic flux. Students, look at here. One surface is placed in magnetic field. Through that surface, magnetic field lines are crossing here. So here I will consider small area dA. So through that dA, some magnetic field lines are passing. Okay. So here through that dA there will be a small magnetic flux. So small magnetic flux d phi b equal to B into dA. Okay. So here I need to calculate total flux through entire surface. So for that I need to add these small areas. For that I need to take integrations on both sides. So here integral d phi b equal to integral b dA. Okay, integral d phi b means that is phi b. Phi b means magnetic flux, that equal to b I will write outside, integral dA, that equal to integral dA is a. So finally we got phi b equal to b dot a, that equal to ba cos theta. So here we have some special cases. Now we will discuss about that. Now special cases. If angle between strength of the magnetic field and area vector is theta, then magnetic flux phi b equal to ba cos theta. Second case, if the angle between area vector and strength of the magnetic field is 0 degrees. How 0 degrees? Look at here. For suppose it is a coil, it is a magnetic field. Okay. And if I take one more vector, that is area vector, see both are acting in same direction. See, both are acting in same direction. Then what is the angle between them? What is the angle between them here? 0 degrees. Okay. So here maximum number of magnetic field lines will pass through that coil. So flux will be maximum. Third case, if the angle between strength of the magnetic field and area vector is 90 degrees, then magnetic flux will be 0. Why 0? Phi b equal to ba cos 90. Cos 90 here 0. Here it is a coil, okay, which is placed in magnetic field. So magnetic field moving like this and the area vector like this. So here if you see what is the angle between these two. For suppose this blue color marker if I represent area vector and this red color marker if I represent magnetic field lines. So what is the angle between these two markers here? 90 degrees. So whenever the area vector and magnetic field lines are perpendicular to each other, theta is 90 degrees. So magnetic flux phi b equal to ba cos 90 that equal to cos 90 0, so you will get 0. That means magnetic flux passing through that surface is 0. Look at here, there is no magnetic field lines passing through that surface. Okay, that's about special cases. And one more thing here, what is the SI unit for magnetic flux? Magnetic flux means it is BA cos theta. So SI unit for strength of the magnetic field is Tesla and area vector is meter square. So SI unit Tesla meter square or Weber. 1 Weber means 1 Tesla meter square. Okay. So magnetic flux is which quantity? Is it scalar or vector? It is a scalar quantity. Why? Because it is dot product of two vectors. So dot product of two vectors is scalar. So magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. Next we will discuss about experiments by Faraday and Henry. Now experiments of Faraday and Henry. First one, current induced by a magnet. The relative motion between magnet and coil induces current in that coil. For suppose, if we move north pole of the magnet towards coil, there is a deflection in galvanometer towards right side. If we move north pole of the magnet away from the coil, there is a deflection in opposite direction to the previous one, that indicates induced current in the coil. And the second experiment, current induced by current. Here we have two coils. One coil is connected to the cell, that is C2, which is carrying current, and another coil is C1, which is connected to the galvanometer. Here the relative motion between these two coils induces current in coil 1. For suppose if we are moving coil 2, current carrying coil 2 towards coil 1, there is a deflection in galvanometer that indicates induced current. If you are moving opposite direction to the previous one, there is a deflection in galvanometer that is opposite to the previous one. Here, now current is induced by changing current. Current is induced by changing current. Here we have two coils, primary coil and secondary coil. Secondary coil is connected to the cell. Okay, primary coil is connected to the galvanometer. Here, when we switch on, there is a momentary deflection in galvanometer in primary coil that indicates induced current. Later, there is no deflection in galvanometer. Again we switch off. That means again we remove the key in secondary coil. Again there is a momentary deflection in galvanometer that indicates induced EMF in primary coil. So that's about experiments of Faraday and Henry. Okay. Students, now Faraday's laws. First, Faraday's first law. What is Faraday's first law? The change in magnetic flux around a coil induces EMF in that coil. That is Faraday's first law. Here, magnetic flux does not depend upon induced EMF. Faraday's second law. The magnitude of induced EMF is equal to the rate of change in magnetic flux. Look at here. Magnitude of induced EMF equal to rate of change in magnetic flux. That is modulus of E equal to d phi b by dt. Okay. It is for 1 turn. For n turns, magnitude of E equal to n into d phi b by dt. It is for n turns. For n turns, modulus of E equal to n into d phi b by dt. Okay. So here, what about induced current? Here, what about induced current? Induced current I equal to modulus of E by R, that equal to n into modulus of E means n into d phi b by R into dt. Then what about charge is flowing in that coil? that is charge. If suppose q charge is flowing in small time dt, then q equal to I into dt. Here I means already we got. What is that? N into d phi b by r into dt into dt. Dt cancel, so we got charge q equal to N into d phi b by r. So that's about Faraday's second law. So what is Faraday's second law? The magnitude of induced EMF is equal to the rate of change in magnetic flux. Next, I will discuss about Lenz law. Students, now Lenz law. What is the statement of Lenz law? The polarity of induced EMF of a coil opposes the change in magnetic flux produced it. Look at here. When coil is at rest, magnet is in motion. If you are moving north pole of the magnet towards the coil, then the polarity of induced EMF of coil acquires north pole. That opposes the change in magnetic flux produced it. In second case, if you are moving north pole of the magnet away from the coil, the polarity of the induced EMF of coil acquires south pole. In third case, now magnet at rest, coil is in motion. If we move the coil towards magnet, towards the north pole of the magnet, the polarity of induced EMF of coil acquires north pole. That opposes the change in magnetic flux produced it. If you move the coil opposite to the direction of magnet, the polarity of induced EMF of coil acquires south pole. Students, in fifth case, if both are in motion, that means coil is moving with velocity v1 and magnet is moving with velocity v2. Both are moving in same direction. Here, if v1 greater than v2, that means velocity of coil greater than velocity of magnet, then the polarity of induced EMF of coil acquires north pole. That opposes the change in magnetic flux produced it. In sixth case, if velocity of coil less than the velocity of magnet, then the polarity of induced EMF of coil acquires south pole. Lenz law is based upon law of conservation of energy. Here, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. In this experiments, to find the direction of induced EMF and motion of conductor and direction of magnetic field, we need to discuss about Fleming's right hand rule. Now Fleming's right hand rule. To find the direction of magnetic field, induced current and direction of force or motion of conductor, we will use Fleming's right hand rule. What is the statement of Fleming's right hand rule? Stretch your forefinger, middle finger, thumb of your right hand such that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Here, forefinger indicates direction of magnetic field, middle finger indicates direction of induced current, thumb indicates motion of conductor or direction of force. Look at here. Students, in next session, I will discuss about motional EMF or motional electromotive force. Okay viewers, Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe it, share it and like it. Thank you.